welcome to Real Fishing UK. Over the course of this year we're going to have a couple of guest videos, and this is the first one. And in this video we head over to RK Leisure's Horton Complex. Our two guests are a guy called Mike and a guy called Brian. They've both been targeting one of the waters over on the Horton Complex. They haven't targeted it at the same time. Mike targeted last year and Brian was the year before, and Mike's still currently fishing it. I kindly got invited down for a little look around as well to get a bit of footage for this video, and I was absolutely blown away, to be honest. The complex itself, Church Lake and the whole Horton Complex, has got a lot of history in carp fishing, and a lot of famous anglers have written about it in their books and whatnot. I mean, I think I read somewhere that the complex itself has over 40 different 40s, and that's just crazy. And hundreds of 30 to 40 pounds fish. When you arrive at the venue and you go through those old famous gates, as you were just seeing, you come to these two ponds that have got some ornamentals in and some other stunning fish as well, just swimming alongside you, and then you're greeted by the lodge. And to be honest with you, when you see a fishing lodge like this where you think I can reel in and go and get a bit of grub and sit down and go back to the rods, rest the swim or whatever, and have a little bit of a social, I was absolutely blown away, to be honest. It's so warm and welcoming, and yeah, it's really stunning in there, to be honest, as you're seeing on your screen now. In this video, we head over to Crayfish Pool. Mike fished it in 2014 and still currently on there, and Brian was the year before him. Mike kindly offered to do a little bit of filming for us on the venue. Mike chose to fish the venue. It's quite local to him. His fishing time's limited around shifts and family like most of us, and also he kind of was attracted to it because of the history and the famous Sutton strains in there, and also the originals that are in there. And if you kind of think back, you're thinking about people like Chris Ball and Richie McDonald and also Rod Hutchinson. They're the sort of people that have, angled on the venue, so that really attracted to him. Mike's biggest highlight from his time on Crayfish Pool so far has got to be beating his own personal best. And he did that with a mirror at 38 pounds 8 ounces it weighed in. And it was also a known fish. It was a fish called SP's fish and a record weight for this fish. And he was, to beat his personal best within his first season on the venue, he was over the moon. Not only did it beat his personal best, but it also set a new lake record, well, current record. There has been bigger fish out of the lake. The Scar actually went over 40, but sadly that's passed away now. So this is, the current lake record for Crayfish Pool as well, which Mike was absolutely buzzing to achieve a personal best, let alone a lake record as well in his first season. I asked Mike what the biggest problem was on crayfish or how he tackled it, and he said, well, it's in the name really. The crayfish there's quite a few of them, as you're seeing on your screen now. This footage is all took from the venue, but he said once you get over that and get your head round dealing with them, it becomes easy. It didn't take him too long at all to realise, right, changes need to be made. And he made those changes. Straight away he had to switch from tubing over to a lead core or a stronger leader, because the tubing was just getting mauled to pieces, and also straight over to plastic hook bakes, which has helped him get past them really. He also said once it gets a bit colder they become a lot less active, so straight back over to the boilies. But the results have showed, and he hasn't let the crayfish put him off, and that's his biggest advice to people, is don't let the crayfish put you off, because there's some great fish to be had. I'd like to personally say thanks to Mike for sharing his time so far on Crayfish Pool with us, and giving us a little bit of an insight into the fish and the venue, and well done on the 21 fish you've had so far. Fishing with Mike, I know a lot of his sessions are 4-hour sessions around shifts and family. Also, he's kick-started this year already with a recapture, and also the one on your screen now, one of the new stockies. They've recently put 5 fish in, and Mike's already managed to bank one of the new ones. Yeah, again, his time on Crayfish Pool already has been documented in Carp Talk. There's an article on it, and also in this month's Big Carp magazine, there's an article from Mike on his time there. So I'd just like to say thanks again for appearing in our video, and hopefully we'll have another one with you soon. Another one of our friends who's done some time on Crayfish Pool, Brian Lucy, we actually thought it was worth sharing his little experience on there as well. I say little, he actually done 27 nights for 34 fish, which was unbelievable. But when I say little, he didn't do as much recording and whatnot from his sessions. But like Mike, you know, he's had an article in Big Carp magazine about his time on there. And between both of them, you know, we're probably talking about between both of them having over 90% of the stock, which is a great achievement. So we're going to also share Brian's, you know, photos and memories from Crayfish Pool with you now. And yeah, let's have a look at it. Brian's approach to dealing with the crayfish was slightly different to Mike's. Rather than using plastic, he was using armour mesh, and he was putting his boilie in it and sometimes doubling it, sometimes even tripling it. But you know, it was just a different way of dealing with the crays. Also, he found, you know, 3 or 4 areas where the fish regularly visited when he did his time on crayfish, and he found that getting in those spots and getting a bait placed accurately really did produce the goods, and it worked for him. Again, I'd like to personally thank Brian for sharing his time with us on Crayfish Pool. And, you know, I also asked Brian what his biggest highlight was from his time on there, and he said it was actually catching a fish called bulla. It was one that he wanted from the start and was, you know, really was top of his target list. And it's actually named after one of the bailiffs there that Brian actually met during his time and become quite good friends with. Again, I'd like to thank both the guys for you know, sharing their time with us on Crayfish Pool, and also, you know, being guests on our channel. To everyone else, I hope this video has provided a little bit of an insight into the venue and whatnot, and you've seen some of the stunning fish that swim in there. Also, we've had a brief look at what RK Leisure have done in the Horton Complex. You've seen the lodge and whatnot, and you know, it's a brief overlook, and I'm sure those guys have got loads more planned. And I actually visited the venue and was blown away.